Listen, everybody wants greatness until they meet what greatness demands. They love the dream, but not the discipline. They crave the spotlight, but not the silence it takes to earn it. Everybody wants to rise, but nobody wants to be buried first. Because that's the truth. They never tell you. Greatness will break you before it builds you. It will strip you of your comfort, your pride, your excuses, until there's nothing left but your raw potential staring back at you, asking, who are you really? You think you want success. No, you want the image of success. The version that looks good on social media, the applause, the validation, the followers. But greatness, true greatness, lives in the dark. It's forged when nobody's watching. It's built in the moments when you're exhausted, when the world forgot your name, when the results don't show, but you show up anyway. That's where it begins, in the unseen hours, in the quiet suffering, in the decisions no one applauds you for. Edison didn't invent the light bulb because he was lucky. He did it because he failed 10,000 times and refused to let failure define him. Carnegie didn't build an empire because he was born rich. He built it because he learned how to see wealth where others saw struggle. Lincoln didn't lead a nation because he was chosen. He became the man who could carry that burden because life broke him over and over until he grew strong enough to bear it. Every legend you admire was once broken, but instead of staying broken, they rebuilt themselves with fire because greatness is not a gift, it's a test. And most people fail, not because they're weak, but because they don't understand what the test really is. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about becoming the kind of person who can hold what you're asking for. See, the moment you decide to go after something bigger than yourself, life starts testing you. It takes away your comfort zones. It takes away your safety nets. It removes the people who kept you small. It gives you situations that don't make sense. Not because the universe is against you, but because it's preparing you. You said you wanted to lead, then you're going to be put in a situation where no one follows. You said you wanted strength, then you'll face things that try to break you. You said you wanted greatness, then get ready for isolation because the path to the top is narrow and not everyone can climb with you. That's the truth most can't handle. They want the reward, not the responsibility. They want the victory, not the valley. They want to be seen as great without being made great, and that's why they quit. But if you're listening to this right now, if something in you is stirring, if something inside you refuses to settle, then maybe, just maybe, greatness chose you. And if it did, then it will test you. You'll go through days when you feel invisible, nights when your own mind turns against you, moments when everything you built starts to collapse, not because you're failing, but because you're being refined. Understand this. Diamonds are born in pressure, warriors are forged in pain, and greatness is carved from resistance. You don't get it easy because easy never made anyone legendary. Look around. Every story that inspired you, every name written in history, began with pain. Disney went bankrupt before he built his magic. Ford was ridiculed before he changed the world. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television before she became the most powerful woman in it. You know what they all had in common? They didn't run from the breaking, they embraced it. They understood that the breakdown was the birth, that the struggle wasn't punishment, it was preparation. See, greatness isn't something you chase, it's something you grow into. And growth hurts. Growth is messy. Growth requires you to shed your old skin, your old habits, your old fears, everything that's not aligned with who you're becoming. You want to know why most people stay average? Because they keep running back to comfort every time the process gets painful. They pray for growth but resist the growing pains. They ask for strength but avoid the struggle. They want to be extraordinary but refuse to let go of their ordinary routines. But greatness, true greatness, doesn't negotiate. It doesn't compromise. It doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you need. And what you need, more often than not, will hurt because the pain is proof that something inside you is changing. That something is being torn down, something greater can rise. That's not punishment, that's transformation. And once you understand that, you stop fighting the process. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because every challenge carries a message. Every setback carries a seed. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment It's molding you, stretching you, shaping you into the kind of person who can hold the destiny you prayed for. That's the truth about greatness. It's not given, it's earned. And before it lifts you, it will break you. You want greatness. Then stop praying for an easier life. Start praying to become a stronger person. Because the people who rise to greatness aren't the ones who avoid the storm. They're the ones who become the storm. You've got to understand something. Life doesn't bend for your comfort. It bends for your commitment. When you make a decision that you will not quit, that you will not back down, that you will not run, the universe rearranges itself to test that claim. You say, I want to be great, and life replies, prove it. And proof doesn't come in moments of comfort. It comes in moments of chaos. When the plan falls apart, when the doors close, when the support disappears, when the results don't come fast enough, that's when greatness takes attendance. That's when it looks around and says, who's still here? Because the masses vanish when things get hard. But the great ones, they dig deeper. They don't let emotion decide their execution. They don't wait for motivation to feel right. They move because their purpose demands it. Discipline, not desire, is what separates the dreamers from the doers. The world will celebrate your success, but it will test your commitment long before that. It will ask you, can you stay consistent when it's not convenient? Can you work when you're not being watched? Can you trust the process when the progress is invisible? That's the battlefield where greatness is won, in the trenches of repetition, focus, and faith. Because faith isn't believing when it's easy. It's believing when it makes no sense. It's standing in the middle of uncertainty saying, I don't know how, but I'm not backing down. That's what makes legends. That's what made Thomas Edison test again after thousands of failures. That's what made Nelson Mandela walk out of prison with peace instead of vengeance. That's what made Kobe Bryant wake up at 4 a.m. every day, not because he had to, but because he chose to. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to become. And that bridge is built with sacrifice. Every single brick of it, laid in sweat, focus, and self-control. You see, everyone talks about purpose, but purpose without discipline is just potential. And potential without action is the cemetery where dreams go to die. If you truly want greatness, stop chasing motivation. Motivation is a spark, discipline is the fire. And fire only grows when it's fed, not when it feels good. You've got to feed your focus, even when you're feeling starved. Because feelings are temporary, purpose is eternal. You don't need to feel like it, you need to decide you are it. Because the decision comes first, the emotion follows later. Understand the mind is your battlefield. Before you ever win out there, you have to win in here. You have to train your thoughts like a soldier trains for war. Because your thoughts are either your weapons or your wounds. Every morning you wake up, your mind whispers two voices, the voice of fear and the voice of faith. Fear says, what if you fail? Faith says, what if you fly? Fear says, you're not ready. Faith says, you were born for this. You choose which one you feed. Because the voice you feed becomes your future. Greatness begins when you silence the noise and listen to the whisper inside that says, keep going, even when you're tired, even when you're doubted, even when no one believes in you yet. Because the truth is, you have to believe before they do. You have to invest before you see the return. You have to move before the miracle. That's how greatness works. But here's the part they never tell you. The climb will get lonely. Not because people hate you, but because most people can't handle the altitude. They'll leave when the air gets thin. They'll quit when the path gets steep. They'll say, you've changed, not realizing you were supposed to. You'll outgrow conversations, circles, habits, even parts of yourself. And that's okay, because every level of greatness requires a new version of you. A version that doesn't negotiate with laziness. A version that doesn't apologize for ambition. A version that knows comfort is the coffin of purpose. And when you start evolving, don't expect applause. Expect isolation, because transformation happens in solitude. Ask any visionary, any leader, any legend. They all had seasons where no one understood them. When the world thought they were crazy for believing in something no one else could see. But that's the price of vision. You've got to be willing to walk alone before others follow. You've got to be willing to plant seeds that may not bloom for years. You've got to have the faith to look at barren ground and still believe it's fertile. because you're not working for now, you're building forever. And forever doesn't come cheap. So stop waiting for the right time. There isn't one. Stop waiting for permission. You already have it. Stop waiting for everything to make sense. It never will, not in the beginning. The greats don't wait. They work, they move, they act, they fail forward. They learn fast, they get knocked down, but they rise faster every time. And that's what the world can't stop. Someone who refuses to quit. Because once you understand that pain is part of the process, once you stop running from the breaking and start using it as fuel, you become unstoppable. You stop asking for the path to be easy and start asking for the strength to walk it. You stop craving approval and start craving alignment. You stop chasing success and start embodying it. That's the shift. That's when you stop wanting greatness and start becoming it. But let me tell you this, greatness isn't measured by how loud you roar when you win. It's measured by how still you stand when the storm won't pass. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about rising faster, wiser, stronger every single time. See, life doesn't break you to destroy you. It breaks you to rebuild you. It tears away what's weak, what's fake, what's fragile, so only what's real remains. That's what resilience is, not pretending you're invincible, but proving that you're unbreakable. Every failure, every rejection, every setback, it's not the end. It's the echo of destiny testing your resolve. It's life asking, do you still want it? Do you still believe when nothing's working? Do you still see light when everything's dark? Because the truth is, resilience isn't built when you win. It's built when you don't, when the deal falls through, when your dream gets delayed, when your plan collapses and you have to start from scratch. That's when the fire inside you is either extinguished or ignited. And the ones who make it, the ones who write history, they're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who turned their wounds into wisdom. They're the ones who stopped asking, why me? And started asking, what now? That's what adaptation is. It's the art of evolution. It's refusing to let circumstances define your outcome, because the world will change, people will change, plans will change, but purpose remains. Adaptability means you bend without breaking. You shift without losing your center. You learn, adjust, evolve, because that's what greatness does. Look at nature. The strongest trees aren't the ones that never face storms. They're the ones whose roots grew deeper because of them. Pressure doesn't crush them. It fortifies them. And that's what life is doing to you right now. Every challenge, every change, every detour, it's deepening your roots. Don't curse the wind. Learn to sail with it. Don't fear the waves. Become the tide. Don't pray for the storm to stop. Learn to dance in the rain, because greatness isn't just about strength. It's about flexibility. It's about the ability to remain calm in chaos, humble in victory, focused in failure, and grateful in all of it. Gratitude, that's the secret fuel the greats never forget. It's what keeps your heart alive when your body wants to quit. It's what reminds you that even the pain has purpose. See, when you're truly grateful, nothing is wasted. Every loss becomes a lesson. Every delay becomes divine timing. Every obstacle becomes a hidden opportunity. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's possible. It grounds you when the world spins too fast. It whispers, you've come too far to only come this far. Because the truth is, you didn't survive everything you've been through just to stop now. You didn't climb out of darkness just to live in the shadows again. You didn't fight through years of pain just to play small. There's more in you. There's more of you waiting to be uncovered. But to reach it, you've got to stop seeing your struggle as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Every time life knocks you down, it's not rejection, it's redirection. It's life saying, that's not your path, but this might be. It's not trying to crush you, it's trying to call you. And the calling always comes through chaos, because chaos shakes you awake. It makes you move. It makes you pay attention to what truly matters. You think comfort is peace, but comfort is a cage. It lulls you into believing you're safe while quietly killing your potential. But struggle wakes you up. It reminds you that you're alive. It sharpens you, molds you, humbles you, and then it reveals who you were meant to be. The great ones, they don't just survive their storms. They use them. They build ships out of broken pieces. They build strength out of scars. They build faith out of failure. because they understand that pain is not their enemy, it's their initiation. It's the rite of passage every great soul must walk through before the world calls them extraordinary. You see, greatness doesn't come from what you get, it comes from what you give. And the only way you can give deeply is to have been broken deeply, because brokenness breeds empathy, it breeds compassion, it makes you powerful in a way comfort never could. That's why the legends, the true legends, didn't just achieve things, they became something. They became wisdom, they became light, they became legacy. Because legacy isn't about being remembered, it's about leaving something that lasts. It's not about fame, it's about impact. It's not about being seen, it's about making others see more clearly. The question isn't, how high can you climb? It's how many can you lift on your way up? Because real greatness doesn't shine alone, it sets others on fire. It's contagious, it multiplies, it transforms everything it touches. So if you're in the middle of your breaking right now, good. It means you're being refined for something bigger. It means your foundation is being rebuilt stronger. It means your story isn't over. It's just getting its power. Hold on. Don't rush the process, because every masterpiece looks like a mess in the middle. Every champion was once a contender who refused to quit. Every purpose-driven life was once confused and chaotic before it became clear. The pain you're in right now, it's not your enemy, it's your evidence. Evidence that you're still fighting. Evidence that you're still alive. Evidence that greatness hasn't given up on you. So don't you dare give up on it. So now, here you are, standing on the edge between who you were and who you're meant to be. And this is the moment that separates the great from the good, the remembered from the forgotten. Because at some point, every journey reaches this line, the line where your comfort ends and your calling begins. And most people stop right here. They look at the mountain and say, it's too high. They look at the darkness and say, it's too heavy. They look at their reflection and say, maybe I'm not enough. But the great ones, they don't turn back. They don't wait for permission. They don't need the perfect plan. They take a breath, plant their feet, and walk straight into the storm. Because they know something the rest don't. They know that everything they've been through was preparing them for this. That every heartbreak, every setback, every lonely night was training their spirit to endure the weight of destiny. See, greatness doesn't ask for ease. It asks for endurance. It doesn't promise comfort. It promises consequence. It says, if you want to rise, you must first be refined. If you want to lead, you must first learn to follow. If you want to shine, you must first walk through shadow. And that's what this moment is. You're refining fire. You're being melted down, not to destroy you, but to forge you into something indestructible. Because when life breaks you, it's never about the breaking. It's about what remains when the pieces fall. It's about the part of you that refuses to die, the part that keeps getting up, the part that says, this pain will not define me, it will build me. Listen, greatness is not a destination, it's a decision to rise when you fall, to act when you're afraid, to believe when everything around you screams doubt. That's how greatness is born. One choice at a time, one small act of courage repeated daily until it becomes your identity. You become what you repeatedly do, not what you occasionally dream about. If you keep quitting, you become a quitter. If you keep blaming, you become bitter. But if you keep showing up, if you keep fighting, learning, improving, then eventually you become unbreakable. Because consistency is stronger than talent. Faith is stronger than fear, and perseverance is stronger than pain. You can't choose the cards life deals you, but you can choose how you play them. You can choose to use your scars as excuses or as symbols of survival. You can choose to drown in doubt or to swim in discipline. You can choose to settle for average or to rise toward greatness. And make no mistake, that choice will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you popularity. It will cost you the illusion of safety. But it will give you something far greater, freedom. Freedom from regret. Freedom from what ifs. Freedom from the haunting thought that you could have been more, but didn't try. Because when you commit to greatness, you stop chasing validation and start chasing vision. You stop being driven by applause and start being driven by purpose. And purpose, once awakened, cannot be silenced. Purpose will wake you before the sun does. It will keep you up when the world sleeps. It will whisper, keep going. When logic says stop, when fear says hide, when doubt says quit, purpose says, this is why you started. That's the fire that lives inside every legend. That's what carried Abraham Lincoln through failure after failure. That's what pushed Michael Jordan to turn rejection into legacy. That's what drove Steve Jobs to rebuild from ruin. That's what made Nelson Mandela choose forgiveness over fury. And it's what's waiting inside you. You may not feel it every day. You may not see it yet, but it's there. That unrelenting force, that quiet hunger that refuses to die. And that hunger, that's your greatness calling. Answer it, even when you're scared, even when you're tired, even when it doesn't make sense. Because one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you'll look back and everything that once hurt will make sense. You'll realize that every tear watered your growth. Every delay built your patience. Every heartbreak expanded your heart. Every failure taught you how to win. And you'll understand it was never about the struggle. It was about who you became because of it. That's the truth about greatness. It will break you first, but only to rebuild you stronger. Only to strip away what you're not, so what you are can finally emerge. So if you're being tested right now, don't fold. If you're in pain, don't quit. If you're doubting yourself, remember even the stars are born in darkness. Hold your head high, plant your feet firm, and walk through the fire like it was built for you, because it was. That's your proving ground. That's your initiation. That's your transformation. The day will come when you'll look in the mirror and realize you became the person you once prayed to be. Not because life made it easy, but because you refused to give up when it wasn't. You'll realize you didn't just survive, you evolved. You didn't just dream, you did. You didn't just talk about greatness, you became it. And when that day comes, when the world looks at you and calls you great, you'll smile because you'll know the truth. Greatness didn't give you anything. It took everything that wasn't real and left only what was eternal. So go, be broken, be tested, be refined, be relentless. And when they ask how you did it, you'll tell them, I stopped running from the fire. I walked through it and became it.